When you ask someone in the Western world about the Second World War, their minds usually immediately go to the atrocities committed by the Nazis all across Europe. However, in the Far East and here in Southeast Asia, it was the Japanese Imperial Army who marched through these countries spreading terror and misery wherever they would go. From stories of Japanese soldiers stabbing pregnant women with bayonets, or setting up rape houses all across China, or what we are here to explore today, working their prisoners of war to death. So join me as we explore what quickly became known as the Death Railway. Good day and welcome back to another video. We are currently in Kanchanaburi, just about 90 miles northwest of Bangkok. We arrived here about an hour ago. I rented a bike and went a bit of a drive round to try and find a nice hotel for the night. And it's lucky I did that and I didn't book one in advance, because I have found an absolute gem. This is the River Kwai cottage, and this cost 700 baht per night. But it's not even just about the room itself, it's this unbelievable view. So I'll take you on a little tour. This is my room, number 6, home sweet home, love to see it. Look at that, obviously my bag and stuff's already out. Lovely little room, as you would expect, some water. And what's the toilet like? Oh. Very basic, but does the job. The light, may as well not have a light, to be honest. But this is the money maker. Look at this. You step right outside, and I don't really know what that's for, to be honest. But look at that, wow. 700 baht. That is the view you get. Just a little fish jumped out of the water just there. So today's video is going to be a bit of a step back in time, and we are off up this river in a little bit, once I've cooled down a touch in that room, to explore the bridge on the River Kwai. If you've saw the film, you will know all about it. However, if you have not, hopefully this video will tell you exactly why you should. So here we are on the bridge over the River Kwai, standing on the site of so much tragedy. Now, if you don't know much about this place, I will make the explanation as short as I possibly can. Now, the film The Bridge on the River Kwai is what made this famous. This is actually just one of hundreds of bridges built during the building of the Death Railway. Now, the Death Railway had to be built by the Japanese because they had no link between Malaysia, which at the time was their territory, and Burma, which they were trying to win over from the Allied troops in 1942. So, Thailand at the time refused to give the Japanese safe passage through their country. So the Japanese done what the Japanese do. They invaded the country, and unfortunately, very, very quickly, the Thais gave in and came to an agreement with the Japanese that they could have safe passage through the country of Thailand and build as they pleased. Now, the Japanese had to have 250 miles of railway built between Bangkok and Burma. Malaysia was already connected to Bangkok via rail, so they just had to make up the difference. Now, the Japanese own engineers estimated that this would take between 5 and 8 years. In the end, the Allied prisoners of war and hundreds of thousands of slaves from Malaysia and China built this railway in 14 months. Now, the only way to build something in 14 months, which should take between 5 and 8 years, is one hell of a lot of suffering. By the end of the construction of this railway, over 12,000 servicemen, Allied servicemen, unfortunately lost their lives building this railway, and many more thousands of civilian slaves. To be honest, you don't get the feeling when you come here that it's some significant part of World War II history, and I think that's because it is now very, very much a massive, massive tourist site, and lots of groups of Thai students come here every day to learn about the history, which is good. But so do lots and lots and lots of Chinese tour groups, and One thing I've learnt about Chinese tourists is that they respect nothing and are loud. They are very, very, very loud. But definitely they respect nothing, no one, not even each other. So that kind of takes the poignancy away from visiting this place. I suppose a credit to the engineering of the Allied powers back then was that many miles of the 250 of the Death Railway are actually still in use today. I mean, even this railway, over 4 passenger trains every single day pass over this bridge. Now, before we go and before we end this video, we are going to go back down and have a look at the makeup of this bridge. I'm having to weave in and out of street food stalls and stuff right now, and unfortunately this place is like a building site, if you can see that. But just to talk about the makeup of this bridge, if you can see in the middle there are 2 of the sections of the bridge which are very straight. That was not the original plan for this bridge. All of this bridge at one stage looked like this, with the arches all the way along. However, in 1942, when the Americans found out what was going on here, they bombed this place to bits. And again, which is probably a compliment to the Allied powers engineering at the time, only 2 sections of the bridge needed replaced after all of it was bombed to smithereens. But that was replaced very, very shortly afterwards. Now, just to put into perspective of how pointless this whole thing was, how pointless the railway was, how pointless all the death was, how pointless building that bridge was, after all of that, over a year of suffering, over 100,000 deaths building the railway, in the end the Japanese only managed to send 2 divisions of troops using this railway to Burma before they were defeated. VJ Day, Victory in Japan Day, came very, very quickly round the corner and the Japanese were defeated. And it does make you think that the soldiers who lived after being subjected to the torture of building that railway must have been thinking, what was it all for? What on earth was it all for? And to be honest, I was going to make this video a little bit longer, but I think that's a good place to end it. What was it all for? So if you did enjoy this video, please make sure you hit the subscribe button and you will be notified of any uploads in the future. Thanks for watching. Cheers.